I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh Evanoff, and welcome by the one and only man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, future Jiu-Jitsu world champion, Angel Ortega. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, boys. We have UFC Vegas 83 to recap. UFC 296 fight week is going on, as well as a bunch of news to go over. Jake Paul's also fighting this weekend, but seemingly nobody knows about it. So we have that to preview as well. Before we get into all the action, as always, we're brought to you by Rogue Energy and ELYXR. RogueEnergy.com. Keep me filled up, keep me going throughout my day, whether I'm at the gym or at home. They get me to the finish line, and they can help you get there as well with code Soundoff at checkout for 10% off. ELYXR.com. Do the exact opposite. They're going to get you to unwind, to relax with their Delta 8 products. Code Soundoff for them as well. Personally, had some fun over the weekend. Played Lego Fortnite. Took a couple of those Delta 8s from ELYXR. Chilled out. And you guys should do the same. The big fights this weekend. Go ahead and relax with that. But regardless, whether you want Rogue Energy or ELYXR, it is code Soundoff at checkout for 10% off. Nonetheless, Angel, UFC Vegas 83 going down over the weekend. It was an alright card. For an Apex card, it was alright. Don't really have too many big complaints about it. Some big knockouts, some big fights. In the main event, though, it was one-way traffic. Song Yadong defeating Chris Gutierrez. There's another Apex main event for him, another time for him to kind of show his skill. And in the end, he just goes ahead and dominates another rising bantamweight. What did you make of his performance? He wasn't able to get him out of there, but it was completely lopsided.
It's a little disappointed. I wanted a little bit more out of Chris Gutierrez. It just seemed like Song Yadong was just like a step ahead the whole time. Man, that failed Imanari role really didn't do good for him, did it?
No, it did not. He was too busy talking shit to guys in the crowd who were trying to fight him, so.
Yeah, I heard, that was the other thing I remember hearing about that. What did they even say? Do you know what they said? Or along the lines?
I have no idea what he said.
Did you imagine?
No idea.
Get up and fight. Some bullshit like that. Probably. I mean, knowing how the fight game is, would you be surprised?
Yeah. Exactly.
No. Like I said, this one was just kind of disappointing for me. People like, Song Yadong, bro, he's looking like that guy. He's looking like that guy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just another win. Like I said, he didn't get him out of there, and I don't think he looked too overly impressive, but he was facing a guy in Chris Gutierrez who was, he had a loss sandwiched in, but for the most part, he's been pretty damn dominant as of late, beating some bigger names. I wasn't surprised at how easily Song Yadong won this fight. Very one-sided. Afterwards, he called for a fight with Petr Yan, who we'll talk about later in the news section. Petr Yan was busy over the weekend. What do you think about that fight potentially being next for him?
I think it's a good one. I think it was the one they were trying to originally make, the one that was rumored to be in Shanghai. Availability-wise, rankings-wise, I think that'd probably be the intelligent path for Song Yadong. Obviously, recently announced, we found out it's official, or Henry and Merab will be fighting. We know Aljamain's eyeing 145, but there's no official announcement there. Corey's kind of waiting for his kind of title opportunity, or for something to come up or something intriguing to him. I don't know. I almost think I'd almost be interested in Aljamain if Corey's saying in rematch. No one's ever mentioned that, but now that I'm looking at it now, I'd kind of be intrigued for that. But kind of to cut my rambling off a little bit there. I think Song Yadong Petr Yan is definitely the direction to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, I agree. The reason why that one's not going to happen, that rematch. I believe he's moving. You said Aljo and Corey Sandhagen, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Aljo officially is moving to 145.
Oh, there's no if buts or whens now. Now it's
no, correct. He said after the title shot was given to Marlon that he was done at 135, and that he wanted the Max fight. Still wants the Max Holloway. We'll see if it happens. I don't think we'll end up giving it to him. Apparently, Aljo. I saw an interview with Aljo's coach, and he said that apparently the Max Holloway fight, Max Holloway is busy. What does that mean? No idea. But that's something to keep an eye on. But regardless, going back to these guys. Yeah, Song Yadong versus Petr Yan. I'd love to see that fight next. A striker's delight. Song Yadong, still only 26 years old, but man, he's just getting better each and every time he goes out there. But, I honestly feel like the guy I want to talk about came from the co-main event. I got to be honest with you, because Song Yadong, impressive win, but it wasn't too anything unexpected. Khalil Roundtree goes out there, rocks Anthony Smith, puts him down, gets to the stoppage, holding his hand up like he's holding the fucking hammer of Thor, and about to unleash it on him. What did you make about his win? And for a guy, hitting his mid-30s now, Khalil Roundtree, been in the UFC for, over a decade, maybe stretching it, but, about 7 years now, I believe, he's really bringing it on and really improving now as he heads into his mid-30s. And he called for a title shot afterwards. Probably not going to get it. But look, five wins in a row for them by finish. What you make about this win over Lionheart?
For what, I'm not surprised, man. I was pretty confident in this pick. This is probably my lock of the week. Another finish. Which is obviously it's what you want, right? And especially hopefully a highlight guy you throw in there in the mix. No, I mean, it's very nice to see these kind of, will we call it a career renaissance a little bit, Josh? I mean, I remember, like, not even that long ago, he had that, Eric Anders performance, and then it was prior to that, it was the Johnny Walker loss, and then the Ian Cutelaba loss, and then the Marcin Prachnio loss, and it was just kind of grim there, and then he came into that Modestas Moukakis fight and chose violence, Yeah. Potentially ruining that man's career, but I mean, luckily for Modestas, he's kind of brought it back a little bit, got someone outside of the UFC, came back to UFC, sadly recently suffered a loss. But it's kind of like get back to Khalil here. I mean, look, like you said, multiple finishes in there. The only decision winning there against Dustin Jacoby going to distance with arguably I thought he lost, but hey, it is what it is. He ended up getting the nod on that one. Look, I think he's due for a decent little opportunity here, man, especially with the look and shape of light heavyweight at this point in time. A new face is very important, and he moved up to 8. The only guys sitting in front of him now are Krylov, Walker, Rakic, and Blachowicz, and so on and so forth. But I mean, for me, Josh, the fight I want to see next is either Rakic or Blachowicz. What they'll go with, I don't know, because I know Johnny Walker, Magomed Ankalaev is locked up. I know Yuri just lost, but I'm kind of intrigued by that fight. They do end up going that direction. Jamal Hill's return date is unknown, and obviously we know he had some legal trouble there, but I think there's some good matchups there for Khalil Roundtree. I think the UFC should capitalize on this and hopefully get him to make a decently sized turnaround and work against one of these guys higher up in the rankings, because he's right smack in the middle right there at 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and look, dude, I'm going to go ahead and say something kind of crazy, and it's kind of crazy. If Jamal Hill doesn't get back in time, would you really give a fuck if they gave Khalil Roundtree a title shot? I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at all, dude. I gotta be honest, dude. That sounds like an awesome fight. He's ranked number 8. You could do a lot worse. Obviously, we don't know with Jamal Hill with his healing. And even if you take a look at the rest of that division, Krylov, Walker is currently booked with Magomed Ankalaev. Jan Blachowicz has suffered an injury. Yuri just lost to Alex. Jamal Hill is currently injured. Don't really know. Alexander Rakic is apparently going to fight Yuri next, though, as well. That hasn't been confirmed, but apparently they're in talks. So, I mean, look, dude, I really don't think it's actually that far off for him to potentially get one. I mean, a lot of guys occasionally will just get title shots by virtue of being the right man in the right time. And if Jamal Hill's not able to go in, like, April, May, he is kind of right there, Like, I'm just saying, So it doesn't seem that feasible for him to get a title shot, but I liked the call out. I liked that he said it. Yeah, man, not too many big complaints, honestly. But in terms of the rest of one last thing I do want to bring up. I do want to bring up the loser in this matchup, Anthony Smith. This is his, I believe, 3rd loss in his last 4 outings. Nearly lost to Ryan Spann as well, and that was the guy that he dominated in their first matchup 2 years previous. Are you a little bit worried about him, man? I mean, 56 fights deep in his career. He's 35 years old, and facing a guy now, I think probably 2 or 3 years ago, this would have been not a cakewalk for him, but he probably would have won this matchup. What do you think about his potential future?
I don't think there's a lot left there, man. Like I said, going into this fight, I think this fight might show us if he's coming or going, and it kind of looks like he's going a little bit. Mm-hmm. And if not, and also, I mean, this doesn't mean he can't stick around and fighting. I think if he doesn't decide to stay and decide to still compete, I think the intelligent decision would maybe change the level of competition he's taking on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, yeah, that's probably the way to put it. I mean, we were going to see whether or not he was coming or he's going. Doesn't look like he's going. Yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough. He's given a lot. I think there's definitely matchups for him out there if he does want to keep on fighting. There's definitely fights he'll win. I mean, he's not that bad, but yeah, definitely he's losing fights I think he would have won 2-3 years ago, and that's when you start to look at like, oh, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to start looking at closing it out. In terms of the rest of the card, man, a lot of big finishes on this one. Which fights do you most want to talk about?
Oh man, I mean, there's several. Let me say this right now. There's several highlights on this card. We can start with Tim Elliott, man. Tim Elliott coming in on short notice, getting it done due to submission win after suffering not that long ago a loss to Muhammad Mokaev, the young and rising star.
Yeah.
Dude, wow. I mean, the guy is what, damn near 40? Actually, my bad. I thought Tim Elliott was all older. For some reason, I thought Tim Elliott was pushing 38. Tim Elliott's 36, but he will be 37 by the end of this month. So we're not that far off. We're only a year. I was only going to be only a year off there. But regardless, I mean, look, about to be 37 at flyweight. This fight took out. I'm looking at it right now. Did they actually ended up weighing in at 135? Well, regardless, I think he already announced he's kind of wanting and maybe not looking to chase the title anymore, but like be still in like fun competitive matches. I think that's the right direction to go, man. If he's going to stick around, because he's definitely a fun guy, has a personality, and has good skills. I mean, a former title challenger. I mean, why wouldn't you want to keep that around?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. And look, for him to go ahead and just suffer that loss, because I can't remember, that fight was in Abu Dhabi, right? Because that was just 2 months ago, month and a half ago.
Not even that long ago.
Yeah, so super impressive for him to come back here, 36 years old, and former Kansas City native, and for him to go ahead and beat a younger guy in Sumati Jiri, who I still think has some promise, man. I mean, he was coming off the loss to Matt Snow, which was like a horror movie, but that fight was still crazy. So for Tim Elliott to come in here on short notice to get that win was very impressive. In terms of other fights in the main card, Nasrat Haqparast getting a knockout win. Very low key winning streak for him. 3 wins in a row, a couple of good names there, John McDessie as well. I mean, he was a guy that I kind of thought like maybe he got pushed too much too soon. He seems to be bringing it back. So fun to see that. Andre Muniz picking up a controversial win over Park Jun-Young on the main card as well by split decision. In terms of the prelims, which fight do you most want to talk about?
Dude, Steve Garcia, dude, shocking us. After that first round, it was kind of like, okay, we might know the direction of what this fight might go. But Mean Machine ended up getting it done in the second round, coming out with fucking aggression and getting Mitzcal Costa. I can never pronounce this kid's name. I've heard it on the broadcast. That's
good enough for me, man.
they pronounced it a little bit on the broadcast, but I don't know. I thought Costa was going to kind of bag this one, but Steve Garcia being the underdog, getting it done. And I think he's also kind of like put a few little wins together right there. 3-win streak. Mahashate, the only one in there, could almost, maybe if history goes a little bit, could be like a 5-win streak there. But I don't know. Is he maybe turning a new leaf? We'll see. Comes out of a good gym, 31 at featherweight or at lightweight. There's always a lot of opportunities there. So I'm excited to see if maybe he can continue that going. And Josh, I mean, we need to talk about the Japanese superstar Tatsuo Taira, man.
You're goddamn right we do. Another
finish, getting it done on the feet this time, not to jiu-jitsu. By the way, nice. Showing us another layer to the game. It's still crazy to think this guy's 23. The kind of all this young flyweight talent that's been coming up. It's awesome to see that it's still continuing to grow and get better. Controversially though, Josh, did not move in the rankings or I don't think he was in the rankings at all, but did not move up in the rankings or did not enter the rankings at all. Some people felt some type of way about that. I actually didn't have that big of an issue with it. I was perfectly fine with it just because he's so young. He's just going to turn 24 next year. I don't know. It's okay. Let's give him time. He's going to keep getting better. And like I said, he's 23. And his body's going to change, and and maybe at some point he won't be a flyweight. Maybe he'll decide to make a move up to 135. So let's see what his plans are going forward. But I think he will be deserving though. Before I do cut it off there, I do think his next fight is deserving of a ranked opponent though. Who that is, I don't know, but I'd say give him anybody from 10 down. honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way I feel. I'm not that mad that he didn't enter the rankings. I understand why some people are, but like, dude, he's like 22 years old. He's fucking okay, dog. Like, he doesn't have any ambitions of being the youngest UFC champion. He's not talking about that. It's flyweight anyways, you know, like, they don't really even give a fuck about the division. Like, and also the guys that he's beaten, I'm a huge fan of the kid.
He'll get there quick too, Josh. He's fought 5 times since coming into the UFC. He made his debut last year, like midway last year, and he's already won 5 fights. Like, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be active. He's gonna get those wins if he's he's gonna be there at that level. It doesn't even matter too. So like, you know, like 2 of those fights I think happened to a couple of those fights happened to catch weight. The other guys missed weight. I don't think he's beaten anybody with a Wikipedia page. So like, I get why he's not ranked. And so people need to like chill about that. Like, and even I'm a huge fan of the kid. Like, I talked about the kid since his UFC debut, you know, year and a half ago, 2 years ago at this point. So yeah, he'll be fine. I'm not that worried about him. Although I do want to see him, like you said, maybe next time out, maybe facing a guy outside the top. Hey, you know what? Maybe we can go ahead and do Sue Montegeri. Maybe. That'd be fun. Fuck it, you know? Definitely fun fights they can do for him. You also mentioned Mean Machine. Dude, Steve Garcia, dude. I mean, I was shocked.
And also, I gotta admit, I didn't think this kid was gonna be good at all. I mean, he came up with the Contender Series. You know, he fought in Bellator way back in the day. He lost to Joe Warren, I remember. Shout out, fucking former double champion, the baddest man on the planet, Joe Warren. Nobody remembers him, one of the Bellator OGs. But yeah, I mean, I didn't think Steve Garcia was gonna be that good, dude. But he knocked the shit out of Chase Hooper. He won his last fight against Wolverine, who himself was on a tear, you know. Granted, one of those fights might have been rigged, but, you know. And then he beat Mezcal Costa. So, dude, I mean, all wins coming by knockout. He's a guy who I want to see get a big fight. I gotta be honest, dude. I'm so down. I don't give a fuck. Give him Bobby Green or something. I don't care. That'd be fun as hell. So, and honestly, that's kind of where I'm at now. So I think they should do fun fights, you know. I mean, guys like that, dude, who I have so much respect for. Like, guys that just, they don't look like they're going to be something, and it takes some time, but they're eventually something. Because he's 31, dude. He's going to be 32 in a couple months. Like, he's not where he's supposed to be, but, you know, he's killing it right now. So I love me some Mean Machine. In terms of the rest of the card, any other closing thoughts on it before we go ahead and move on to UFC 296?
No, I mean, I think it ended up being it was an acceptable card. Nothing compared to the previous week, but it was still fun. There were some highlight performances, decent amount of finishes, controversies always. Was there a bad stoppage in this card? Did we continue that streak? I don't think there was.
Yeah, I really don't think we had one, dude. I think we were good.
Yay.
It's just, I mean, I can't think of anyone. Yeah. It was a good night of fights, man. It was a good night of fights. I mean, it was an Apex card. It was a very low-key card. I gotta be honest with you, Angel. I didn't even remember this card was happening until it was happening.
You know, with the move of it and it being, and, you know, we lost a lot of Chinese fighters too out of it. There was supposed to be way more Chinese fighters on this card. I mean, definitely played a part for a while there. We didn't know who the other half of the main event was going to be. So I really don't blame you for feeling that way, because, yeah, for a while there, we didn't even know if it was going to fucking happen.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Anyways, man. I mean, that's my closing thoughts on it. I don't got anything else to say, but it was an alright card. It was better than it looked on paper, I will say. But you know what looks fucking incredible on paper, Angel? You know what looks fucking, like, it's maybe not the best card of the year. But I will say, that, 8-fight lineup of the main card, 9-fight lineup of the main card in that kind of prelims, not the early prelims, but those prelims, dude, fucking stacked. I mean, the UFC, they don't have a New Year's card like sometimes they have. No,
fuck that, Josh. I think the card is stacked, actually.
Yeah. Well, I'm agreeing with you. But I'm just saying, sometimes they do those New Year's Eve cards. They're not doing it this year. They're taking off 3 weeks. God damn it, are they going out with a bang, dude. I mean, UFC 296 is excellent. But in the main event, a fight that we have been discussing for most of this year, because they announced it all the way back in March. Following Leon Edwards' win over Kamaru Usman, his second straight win, Colby Covington was cage-side, and Dana White went to the press conference and confirmed that chaos was next. Colby Covington has not been seen since a win over Jorge Masvidal nearly 2 years ago, March of 2022, early March. He's 2-2 in his last 4. He is not. Look, in terms of his resume, there's not really anything good you can say about Colby Covington right now. But at the end of the day, we still know that he is the real deal, a former interim champion. And look, I talk a lot of shit on Colby Covington, mainly this title shot, because let's be honest, it shouldn't be happening. But at the same time, God damn it, do I respect him. You know, he's not the biggest, he's not the fastest, he's not the strongest, but he goes out there, he finds a way to win, he has incredible cardio, and he has the heart of a he's got the dog in him, you know? But look, I mean, that doesn't always win you fights, man. What do you think about this fight? Give me your excitement level. And who do you got coming out of the main event?
Man, I mean, it's definitely grown a little bit. Obviously, Colby, not necessarily the opponent I've been wanting in a championship fight. That's why I've seen him quite a bit now, and it hasn't gone his way. But, you know, it's UFC. UFC will do what they want.
Yeah.
For Leon, though, I hope he can probably continue to shine as a star, continue to show his personality. And recently, I've seen the kind of like more videos and kind of stuff is getting a little bit more attention and traffic there. I mean, I don't know if you saw this, Josh, but did you see they uploaded the Diaz fight and it got almost like 1 million views on YouTube? I think it's like almost like at 950,000.
I did not know that it got that many.
Yeah, no, they uploaded it maybe a week ago, 3 days ago. It's already at 950,000 views, approaching 1 million. They uploaded the full fight to the UFC channel. But I mean, I'm sure that's a combination more of Diaz, it being a free fight, and I mean it's a little bit of everything, right? I don't want to just say it's all Diaz. But I thought that was kind of interesting. I wonder if maybe that shows a little bit of star power going there out of Leon, or maybe it is all Diaz. I don't know.
He's getting a little bit of a push. I saw he did a video with Reno Ferdinand for BT Sport. So he's getting a little bit of a push.
Yeah, it took a little bit. I've seen it multiple times now. It's like, is Leon Edwards the most underappreciated champion in the whole UFC? And he probably is, right? I mean, it's probably him or Pantoja, right?
I mean, look, we're going into I don't think there's been a single fight that Leon's been the fan favorite going into it. He's not
going to be for this one either, too.
No, he's not. I mean, look, dude, he talked about in the MMA Hour. And he's correct. Everything is set for a Colby Covington win on Saturday. And they badly want it. Trump's going to be there. He's going to be cage side. He might even walk out. Colby.
Is this in Vegas?
It is in Vegas,
Okay.
It's put in, in America. They gave him the title shot after 2 years for no real reason. It's kind of all lining up for him. I mean, we should go ahead and say real quickly, I believe going into this fight, Leon is the favorite. First time in a while. Do you think that Colby Covington, he's coming in here off to, I will say that he's the fan favorite in terms of the fans, but in terms of critics, I'd say most people are picking Leon Edwards to win. Do you think Colby Covington will be able to come back here? He's had a long time off to train, to watch him. Do you think he'll be able to come back and get a win?
I mean, look, we got to give credit to Colby in the areas where he is good. I mean, look, the guy is, I think, when it comes to the gym, being in shape, hard worker there, no doubt about it. Because he does always come in on weight, super great conditioning, great cardio. Could those things potentially help him in this fight? I think they could. I think if he is on top of Leon the whole time, if he is able to chain wrestle well and get him to the ground consistently, I think this could be a good night for Colby. But we've seen that at the same time, Leon has evolved his game. He has improved. He has improved on that takedown defense. Shit, he even had his takedown of his own on Kamaru, or reversed it, or one of the two. I can't remember off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. And once again, that showed a new layer to his game. On top of that, Leon's technical striking, is going to be significantly better, if we're kind of comparing it to the Kamaru-Colby matchup, is going to be significantly better than what Kamaru had. Maybe Kamaru had slightly more pop, but Leon will have that accuracy. And they always say, accuracy, if it hits in the right spot, it'll take you out. And we've seen that with Leon. He could definitely do that. With the kicks, with the punches, we know he's more than capable of having that ability. I think Leon's going to get it done, man. I think he's an evolved fighter. He's peaked. He's showing the complete package. The most shocking result to me in this fight would be a Colby Covington knockout, or any sort of finish on the feet. I think if Colby does win, it'll probably have to come in the form of a decision. On the cards, with a lot of wrestling, I just don't know I don't think he'll be able to get it done against Leon. I think the first few rounds will be hard for Leon. Definitely test him quite a bit. Definitely, I'm curious to see how the cardio is managed, how he's going to deal with Colby just coming forward every single round, and how he's going to be able to neutralize that. But I got Leon Edwards the whole way. I got Rocky, baby.
Yep, you have Rocky. And here's something that we should note, by the way. The rule of 35. I brought this up last week, in reference to Anthony Smith. Now, granted, this is a title fight stat. But Angel, do you know the record of UFC fighters I believe it's under 200 pounds? So, under light heavyweight and heavyweight, because those are like older weight classes. Do you know the record of the ages, if you're past the age of 35 in a title fight?
It's like 2 and 20 or 2 and 30. It's something wild like that.
It is 2 and 29.
Yeah, I wasn't that far off. Yeah, I wasn't that far off.
Yeah, you're right. And those two were Tyron Woodley. And in fact, one of those...
was Woodley in both? I thought it was Amanda in one. Amanda was at 35 when she took the title back.
No, I mean, according to what I found, the actual stat itself is apparently both were Woodley. Although they could just be counting men.
Oh, okay.
Although,
yeah. I was wondering about that. I was just curious. Well, like I said, I believe women last longer, so it doesn't really feel like certain stats like that kind of work a little different.
Yeah. But regardless, man, I mean, it's 2 and 29. And both of those are Woodley, by the way, but one of those shouldn't even count because he was facing Damian Maia, who was over 35. So the one is Darren Till. Look, dude, I respect Colby Covington a lot, and over the course of the build of this fight, I have started to doubt it a little bit. Because here's the thing, like, people are like, oh, he's had 2 straight camps wrestling, he's facing guys coming in here and Colby hasn't beaten anybody good in a long time. Like, if you look at Colby Covington's resume, I think he has 1 win over a ranked fighter, and that's RDA.
What about active fighters? I don't even know about ranked fighters.
3.
3 active fighters.
3. In the UFC, Max Griffin, Brian Barberena, and RDA. Everybody else has either been released, cut, or retired.
And where are those guys?
Max Griffin, it's just coming off a loss. Brian Barberena, I think he's lost 2 or 3 in a row. And then RDA is old as shit. So yeah, I mean, but like, look, here's the thing. I respect Colby Covington a lot. I respect his skills. But here's my biggest thing, and this is a general rule. I brought up the 35 rule. Here's the fucking Josh rule, right? Here's the Josh rule. If your best performances that people can take from you are losses, then you might not be as good as people think. That's just a general rule. You know what I mean? Like, I see this happen a lot, where guys will lose a close fight, and they'll perform better than what they're expected, so they just apply that as if they won the fight. Like, people are like, oh yeah, Colby Covington, everybody always said for the longest time, he's the best welterweight behind Kamaru Usman. Sure, he hasn't fucking fought anybody, but because he was competitive with Usman, we can just say that. So we're just co-signing and just pretending that he beat all these guys because he was competitive with this guy who he lost to. You know what I mean? That's the Josh rule. If your best performances are losses, and you haven't faced anybody of a certain caliber, I really do question things. So I'm going to go ahead and take Leon Edwards here. Leon is a more active man. He's coming in here on a very long win streak. I think the fact that he has had 2 straight camps to wrestle is a big thing. People talk about, Colby was able to compete with Usman in the wrestling. Shit, dog, so was Leon. Leon scored a takedown at Usman too. I'm just saying. So yeah, man, I think, and also Leon is incredibly underrated on the mat. I would advise people to go watch that Gunnar Nelson fight. Very, very underrated on the mat. If people think he's just going to hit the mat and get dominated, I guess I don't know where people expect Colby to have success here. I mean, I know where, but I don't think it's going to, I mean, I could see him winning the fight, but it's not going to be easy, man. It's going to be a close decision if he does. But I do think Leon's going to get him out of there. Maybe not by finish, but I think he's going to pick up the win. I think he's just the cleaner striker. He's more active. And, yeah, man. I wasn't even that impressed with Colby's last win over Masvidal. And that was 2 years ago, against the Masvidal who lost his last 5 fights. And you know what I mean? So, I'm going to go and take Leon here. Could Colby win? Yes. Is everything kind of lining up for a Colby win, I feel like? Also, kind of, yeah. But, Man, could you imagine if Leon knocks out Colby and then goes out and celebrates with Trump? Man, that'd be fucking goes out there and daps him up, that'd be pretty fucking funny, But yeah, so we'll see. We will see, man. We'll see. Not the only gold on the line this weekend, though. You brought up, Pantoja. It is kind of funny that the two most underrated champions are fighting on the same card, man. Alexander Pantoja, the UFC's flyweight champion. He's another one of my guys. I'm kind of having this is kind of a night for Josh's guys, man. I called for Pantoja and Leon forever. They finally got the gold. And both in some pretty exciting fights this weekend. He will now be facing off against Brandon Royval in a rematch. These two fought just in August 2021. Pantoja picked up a second-round submission win as a part of his current 4-fight winning streak. But since then, man, Brandon Royval, raw dog, hell of a name. He's brought it back. He's won 3 fights in a row, including over Mateus Nicolau back in UFC Kansas City. You and I said after that one he deserved the title shot, and he's finally going to get it, dude. What do you think about this fight? I mean, on paper, it should be fight of the night. These guys are so exciting.
Yeah, no, I mean, these guys are set for another banger, man. Could you imagine that these guys make potentially another fight of the year candidate at flyweight? Which, look, for flyweights, it wouldn't be a surprise, right? But it's wild that it would be another championship fight involving flyweights. For us, kind of dive into it, man. I mean, Brandon Royval, fan favorite fighter, kind of has that, he fights the crowd sometimes, which, look, definitely has not gone in his favor at times. I kind of wonder how he'll come into this. Will he be more centered and focused and not trying to be maybe going super flashy and highlighting? And kind of how will that look? How will not so much focused on the excitement and kind of getting the crowd going, Brandon Royval could be in a 5-round main event against a champion in Pantoja, one of the most experienced flyweights in the whole UFC. Obviously one of the best skilled, great jiu-jitsu, good stand-up. And look, he's not immortal either. I mean, he's not incapable of losing. He's had losses in his career in the UFC, legitimate ones too. Where I don't think there was a shadow of a doubt that he lost. I think Brandon Royval's got his work cut out for him. I think if he makes some mistakes that he made in his previous fight, like following him to the ground and thinking his jiu-jitsu was going to be better than Pantoja's, which it wasn't, and I still don't think it is. It could definitely be another bad night in the office. I think he can make it very competitive. I wonder, are we going to get the same Brandon Royval before? Are we going to get someone a little new showing some new layers? Cause I don't know if, and it's nothing against him, but I just don't know if he's going to be right now necessarily that championship level. But it doesn't mean he can't be. And look, he's very well that guy who could hit some crazy shit. He's willing to do unorthodox things to potentially get the win. Like, he's there to get the finish at all times. I always reference this to the Kai Kara France fight where he got dropped and he got up real quick and threw a spinning elbow and rocked Kai Kara France. One of the craziest sequences I've ever seen in the UFC, dude. I mean, just stuff like that, that you won't see coming. I mean, look, that's the danger of fighting a guy like this. But like I said, Pantoja all the way from here right now. Yeah,
that's how I feel too. I mean, look, these guys just faced off around 2 years ago. Pantoja I mean, it was a fun fight. It was an exciting fight, but he did pick up the win relatively easily. Yeah, man, I'm going to go and say Pantoja get the win here. Although, goddamn, it would be a crazy fucking story if Brandon Royval pulled it off, dude. Like, I got it. Yeah. I love me some Pantoja, but I gotta admit, I'm kind of pulling for him, dude. I mean, he was a guy that was never expected to be taken seriously. I mean,
he hasn't been in the UFC that long either, yeah.
No, he hasn't been. I mean, came in during COVID, I believe. He was one of those COVID late replacements. Dude, he signed at fucking, 10-4 and was probably I mean, I don't have the odds on it, but I'm curious how big of an underdog he was for his debut fight against Tim Elliott, man. I mean, this kid is just continually.
Oh, he fought Tim Elliott? I don't even remember.
In his debut, he was a plus 140 for his debut against Tim Elliott.
That's not that bad for a former title challenger.
Yeah, that's actually not bad at all. But regardless, yeah.
Dude, not even just that, Josh. But think about like how different history could have been, because he fought Brendan Moreno the weekend the Alex Perez-Davison fight went down.
Oh yeah.
The December main event fell out, and they needed a replacement. The two, I think, big fights on that card were Moreno and, I don't know if it was Moreno and Royval who were the co-main, but regardless, it was definitely Davison and, I believe it was Alex Perez in the main event. And if history goes different and Royval doesn't hurt his shoulder, and maybe he beats Moreno in that fight, maybe it's him in that position to get the title shot the following month or 2 weeks later against Davison. Like, who knows, right? Like, just stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's why this fight is so exciting, dude. I mean, there's such a good story going into it. I mean, this guy started off his career, I believe, 5-3. You know, had to work his fucking ass off to get here. He's an underdog, too. Like, I would love it. I mean, I love both of these guys, dude. Both these guys are so likable. They're both two of the most entertaining guys in the UFC. I'm going to take Pantoja to get the win, but if Brandon Royval got the win, I wouldn't be mad at it either. I mean, goddamn, dude. Just a guy, both two guys, consistently overlooked, became undeniable in their fight in the co-main. I'd love to see it, dude. I love that shit. But we're in agreement on that fight, and I'm pretty sure we would probably be in agreement on this one, dude. Talking about undeniable, there's one name that comes to mind. Nomad. Shavkat Rakhmonov, 17-0. This guy is a fucking, he's the fucking Terminator. I mean, since coming to the UFC, Jeff Neal had moments against him, but even then he got choked unconscious and put out cold, in his fight against him in March. Shavkat now coming back to face Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, the former title challenger, 40 years of age, out to prove that he's still here. He's still championship material. 17-6-1, coming off a dominant win over Kevin Holland in December. Prior to that, he suffered a couple losses below Muhammad and Gilbert Burns. But still hoping to get a title shot. What do you think about this fight, man? I mean, I'm surprised they got Wonderboy to agree to it. And if it stays on the feet, it could be a lot of fun. But I don't think it's going to stay there.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, look, I think the big question for me, too, is going into this one is, like, how is Wonderboy going to deal with if the fight does go to the ground? It's only 3 rounds, which I think is a good thing for Wonderboy. The Charlotte stand-up, we've seen it stand up. It's good, I'd say. It's not, I wouldn't say it's great. It's not Israel Adesanya. It's not Wonderboy. And we've seen him get hit. You know, he's been tagged. I don't think he's been rocked yet, though. I will say that. So there is some danger there. You know, Wonderboy is, more than capable of just throwing something you don't see necessarily from odd angles and stuff like that, and potentially rocking a guy like Shavkat and maybe putting him in some serious danger. Look, I got shocked by this. I mean, he's younger. He's showing a lot of dominance. He's finished every single one of his fights. I do wonder, though, is he going to be able to continue the finish streak, Josh? Because he has 17 wins, 17 finishes. Can he make it 18 finishes and 18 wins? Because Wonderboy's a tough guy to get out of there. And that could also kind of play into, maybe he tries so hard to get out of there early on, or maybe he ends up making some mistakes later on. I don't know. There's factors there that kind of do worry me. But I still got Shavkat all the way. But can you imagine a Wonderboy win here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, look, dude, it'd be crazy if he could pull off the upset. And look, there are, maybe he'll test him in some ways, like, I mean, on the feet, he's still very, very good. And there's a reason why he's getting this fight, because he thinks he's still a top-level guy, and I think he still might be. It's just that Shavkat Rakhmonov is a fucking hammer. And I think he's going to go out there and beat Wonderboy, man. I mean, Wonderboy, he's up there in age, and especially on the mat. There was a long time where Wonderboy, he was so quick, and you couldn't really even get close enough to take him down. You know what I mean? Really, the only guy that had success across his entire career taking him down was Woodley. And even then, that was in the first fight. Couldn't even get him down in the second one. And even then, in the first fight, it wasn't very long. It was like 1 round, right? Gilbert Burns and Bilal Muhammad were able to keep him down for nearly the entire fight. I mean, Gilbert, the 2 rounds that he won on the mat the entire time. Bilal Muhammad the entire time. Shavkat Rakhmonov is going to take him down. He's going to butcher him on the mat, and that's going to be that. I mean, I think there will be moments on the feet where Wonderboy will have success, and he's got that fucking dog in him. And dude, so many guys would not have taken this fight. And also, people talked about Wonderboy. They talked shit on him for a long time. He rejected the fight after Pahea missed weight, So a lot of people talk shit, but he's about it. And I'm happy he took the fight. I think it's, he's game as fuck. So I love me some Wonderboy, but it's not going to be pretty. I think he's the real fucking deal. So, nonetheless, man. Next up on the main card is another fight between an aging veteran and a young prospect on the rise. Although I think, like, this, Tony Ferguson's skill level is not at Wonder Boys at this point in his career, and Paddy Pimblett is not a fraction of the prospect that Shavkat is. But you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Similar comparison. Nonetheless, Paddy Pimblett not been seen in a year since his win over Jared Gordon. Very controversial. That put him at 4-0 in the UFC. Tony Ferguson has lost his last 6. Granted, he had moments. He was competitive with Diaz. He dropped Chandler. He knocked down Bobby Green. But still, 6 losses in a row is 6 losses in a row. But he feels very confident. He trained with David Goggins. Do you think Hell Week will be enough to push Tony Ferguson over the finish line and for him to pull off a win over the Batty on Saturday?
No, Josh. I'm going to just be real with you. No, I don't think it will be. But look, it's been a little while since Paddy's fought. He obviously had to get surgery. He's dealing with an injury, but I'll give him credit. Paddy looks like he's in very good shape. He hasn't been posting a lot, but he doesn't seem like he's been kind of blowing up like he has in the past. So I wonder if there's maybe been a change in lifestyle there, which is a good thing, right? Because I don't think it's, a lot of fighters talked about this, where they were like, I don't know if it's healthy for Paddy to be getting so big between fights and blowing up like that. Like, inevitably, it will come and bite him in the ass. And maybe he realized it kind of was. Maybe that was also maybe a factor in his last fight, why he didn't look maybe as good as people hoped. But, look, I think there is a path to victory here. I think Tony could potentially do something. But at the same time, it's almost looking here like they're kind of trying to set up Paddy kind of for success here, giving him a name, giving someone who isn't really that far removed from the rankings, has fought a lot of dogs in this division, has a name. Will definitely bring attention, and I'm curious to see how much Paddy hype is still left. I think we'll definitely see it in Vegas, because that was something that someone brought up. They're like, "Is the Paddy hype still there?" I saw. Funny, this is off topic, but did you see he ran into Cody at the PI? I'll never forget when Cody called him a sorcerer.
I did not see that.
You never see when he called him a sorcerer?
No.
It was like around the time Paddy made his, he's like, I like him, he's good. He says he can't get knocked out. It was after he said, I can't get knocked out. I'm a scouser. And he was like, yeah, and afterwards, there's a podcast Cody was on. He's like, I like Paddy. He can't get knocked out because he's a sorcerer.
That's hilarious.
Just a little bit there for you. Yeah, Josh, I don't know if you knew, Paddy Pimblett's a sorcerer.
I did not know that. Well, he's going to conjure up a win this Saturday night. That's my feeling.
Yeah, I'm the same boat as you.
Oh man. Look, I put up a meme about this, about this post. I forgot this fight was happening. I just, for some reason I thought it was 297, not 296. I didn't know it was coming up that quick. Yeah, man. I don't have anything to say about it. I gotta be honest with you. I really don't have anything to say about this fight. Tony Ferguson shouldn't be fighting. He's almost 40 years of age. He's taken a lifetime of damage, excluding this 6-fight losing streak. He's looked slower and worse just about every time he's gone out there. And he got choked out cold by Bobby Green. I mean, no offense to Bobby Green. Bobby Green's a dog. Like a fucking great dude. Sure, he just lost, but he was a ranked lightweight. You know what I mean? But dude, Bobby Green's not a submission guy. Bobby Green's last submission win before he submitted Tony, I know you won't remember it because, dude, you weren't watching MMA at that time. It was 2013. He won a full decade between submission wins, and he submitted Tony relatively easily, too, once he got him on the mat, dude. I think Paddy's going to win, probably by finish. I don't know whether it be knockout or submission. This would be an ideal fight for Tony, I feel like. Like, this is a perfect fight for him 5 years ago. Perfect.
Paddy lost, dude.
Yeah, perfect fight. So, I'm going to go ahead and take Paddy Pimblett. The Batty's going to get back on the right track.
Dude, what if Tony wins, though, Josh?
Then we got it. Then you know what? Fuck it. El Kakui, we're back, baby. Champ shit only.
Could you imagine he goes for a title fight after that?
If he wins, they got to book him versus. Here's what I think. I think they should book the winner. I didn't like the Chandler matchup. I feel like they're rushing the Chandler fight. I feel like they should have had the winner of this fight face Connor. Honestly,
they should have Connor Tony a while ago, though. In my opinion, I think it could have actually been a very good fight for both of them.
I agree. You're not wrong.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever do it now. I think now it's too late, like you said.
Yeah, probably. Although I think a Paddy fight would be big too. So
a Connor Paddy fight?
Yeah, I think so.
Really? What do you think? What do you think Patty would even call out when he does win? Because he's definitely going to call someone out, right? He has to.
He has to. I don't know who will though.
I don't know. If he wins this, I think they're definitely going to give him a hard push after this, though. Like, I still think at the time, whenever they were available, Drew Dover, Bobby Green were still good. I still think they're very good options.
Yeah, I think Bobby Green after this maybe for Patty would make sense too. You know?
Bobby Green coming off after a loss. Yeah, dude, sounds perfect to me.
Well, yeah, I mean that's kind of the guys that Patty fights though. So I mean,
hey man, I don't think everybody he's fought has come off a loss.
No, not everybody. Not everybody. I think Jordan Levitt. Maybe Jordan Levitt. I feel like I can't remember if Jared Gordon had lost the fight. Oh no, he won his last one. Okay, never mind. But anyways, yeah, get the idea here. Patty's gonna go ahead and beat an old, washed legend, unfortunately. But regardless, that's the way the business goes these days. Vicente Luque versus Ian Machado Gary will open up the card. Teammates who, whenever this fight first got announced, were actually pretty friendly towards each other. They had that conversation, which they put on social media. Ian Gary put that conversation on social media. Yeah, man. It's gonna be an interesting fight. Right now, Ian Gary, he may not come back to Kill Cliff after this. What do you think about this fight, man? Ian Gary, public enemy number one. I feel comfortable saying, you know.
It's just weird, man. I don't think he's. Look, there's been a lot of back and forth. Apparently, I found out after that whole Jeff Neal situation that I don't know Jeff Neal was trying to custody his children or trying to get more time with
Neil
them.
Magny, yeah, correct.
Neil Magny was my bad. I messed it up right there.
No, you're good.
But yeah, apparently that might have caused some trouble there with something related to his kids. I don't know. Look, there's a lot going on there. I'm not going to get crazy into it, but fight-wise, though, I think it's a good matchup for Ian Gary. Luke is a tough guy, though. I still think he could cause some trouble, maybe potentially get Gary out of there, because Luke has his abilities, but Luke is coming off the whole brain situation. Had a relatively, I'd say, decent performance against RDA. But I think if Gary's on point, he's on his game, and kind of like the peaks we've seen in him, I think he could have I think he could probably beat the shit out of Vicente Luque. I'm not gonna lie. I could see a very dominant and very impressive and maybe even eye-opening performance here, which is gonna piss off the haters very much so. Which, I mean, look, for Ian Gary, that's perfect, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm kind of somewhere in the middle in this fight. You know, on paper, I really think Ian Gary might go in there and beat the fuck out of him. Striking wise, he's at a much higher level than Luque. He is the bigger guy, at 6'3". Doesn't have the longer reach, but still. Yeah, man, I mean, on paper, this should be a fight. But at the same time, I was impressed with Luque's win over RDA. He spent a lot of that fight in the clinch and doing a lot of cage wrestling. I could see him doing the same thing here. We haven't really seen much of Ian Gary on the mat. So there's a very big question mark there.
I think he has it, though. He just hasn't had to use it in the UFC because he's a black belt in judo. He has decent jiu-jitsu. And another thing I did recently, Josh, is have you gone back and watched his debut against Jordan? I think it was Jordan Williams at the time versus him now. There's been significant physical changes. I feel like he's gotten a lot cleaner defensively. I feel like he's gotten better. I think this is the moment where if he's going to peak and make a big kind of leap in this division, it's going to be in this fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Here's what makes it so interesting. You have Ian Gary. This is his fucking. I can't make a Conor McGregor comparison. I really want to because they're both Irish, but I can't do it, you know? But this is his fucking nutter for shut up moment, dude. You have the entire world against you for admittedly some stupid fucking reasons, I think. I think the reason why people should be mad at Ian Gary is that he talks shit to Luque in his comment section, even though they're teammates, and, you know, that really pissed off a lot of other people at the gym, and also him talking about gym stuff in general. I don't really give a fuck about his wife. Don't know why I would, you know, I'm a grown-ass man. I have my own shit to deal with. But in terms of MMA, yeah, I think that, you know, he's public enemy number one, including in his own gym right now. Brendan Allen, a couple of other guys. Luque himself said he's not sure if he's going to be allowed back because of some of the stuff and the shit that he's talked, you know. What
does he even say? What's been the
He made fun of Luque for getting baptized. I guess Luque got baptized. Yeah, that was a thing. People didn't like the fact that he also talked shit to Neil Magny and also Jeff Neal. Honestly, and also apparently he didn't tell Luque that he was going to use that phone conversation and like he put it
I
up.
didn't know that.
So that's another thing. It just a lot of there's been a couple of guys who come out from even Michael Chandler who talked about he's like, I don't really like that Ian Gary he's a me fighter, not a we fighter. Just like little stuff here and there that as teammates.
Hey, I'm gonna hate to say this right now though, but it isn't a team sport though. There is
no,
team.
It's not.
I'm gonna have, and look, I get it because there is like there is like this brotherhood and like friendship in the gyms, right? But at the end of the day, look, if we really want to break it down, I mean, it's if he wants to reach that championship level, it's not going to be because of Vicente Luque, Michael Chandler, and I'm going to even go as far as like even the coaches, dude. It's because at the end of the day, he still has to show up and perform on the night of. You know what I mean? And granted, good, having good teachers, learning the techniques and all that is a thing, and having good sparrings that, having great teammates that make, what they say, iron sharpens iron. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it's definitely a thing, but I don't know. I'm gonna kind of get on Chandler for that one. I can't be fully on board with that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, he wasn't saying it in that. He wasn't saying it to be mean. He was just more or less saying like, yeah. And he said too that like there's other guys in the gym that are like that too. So he gets it.
I get the principle. I get the sentiment, but you know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah. But anyways, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go and take Ian Garrity to get the win here. Could Vicente Luque have some moments? I think he'll probably get into the grappling. He'll probably have some moments up against events. We're gonna learn a lot about Ian Machado Garrity. We're gonna find what he's really made of, and that's why I'm excited for this fight. I don't hate the kid. I really don't. I mean, I get why some people do. And you mentioned his debut fight. I remember after that Jordan Williams fight, I was like, this kid's not legit at all, because Jordan Williams was very good. And I remember he rocked him in that one. But you're right, he's improved significantly. So it's really just a matter of him putting it together on Saturday now against a former teammate of his. Regardless, what do you think about these prelims, man? A lot of great matchups. Which ones do you most want to talk about?
To be honest, I think we just gotta kind of make our way down, dude. Bryce Mitchell, Josh Emmett. Coming in our short road is Bryce Mitchell, which I didn't think they were gonna go the Bryce Mitchell route. I actually didn't think Bryce Mitchell was really an option, but I guess he ended up being one. I think good fight for Bryce Mitchell, the right fight. I think, actually, in actuality, it ended up kind of working out for both these guys. I think this is kind of the right fight for both of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I gotta admit to you, I don't know how you feel, but of all the fights on the prelims, not to kind of skip over that, but of all the fights on the prelims, dude, Cody Garbrandt, Brian Kelleher is a fight that I would have never thought of, but is a fucking banger, dude.
What's weird though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't you worry for him a little bit in this fight, which is something you would have never thought about previously either, though.
Cody or Brian?
Cody.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, I mean, I think this is actually be a competitive fight. I could see Brian Kelleher winning this fight, especially if it's going to be on the feet too. Which
like what I'm going to get to, dude, it's kind of mind blowing to me, like with how at one point in time good Cody looked.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not even that. He's a former champ. I mean, it's so weird to say, but it's true.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I mean, it's crazy to me. Now, well, look, I think he's probably going to win this one, but yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think about sometimes the downfall of Cody Garbrandt, because it's not even much of a downfall, because like, look, there were a lot of people who probably don't know, because it was like, this fight was almost 8 years ago at this point. It makes me feel old as shit, but the fight's almost 8 years ago at this point, his fight with Dom Cruz. But like, he wasn't supposed to get a title shot for that fight. Like I can't remember who they skipped over for that one. I think it was Dillashaw. It was TJ Dillashaw. They skipped over Dillashaw to give the title shot to Cody, and Cody had beaten one ranked guy. So he came out of nowhere for the title fight, lost the title, and immediately went right back, So, yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about that he's a former champion and all that. I think he might win this fight, but at the same time, dude, Brian Kelleher can fucking crack, dude. So if he's not careful out there, I could easily see him losing this fight. Josh Emmett, Bryce Mitchell. I like that Bryce is coming in here on short notice. He needs a win, but so does Josh Emmett, dude. Josh Emmett got fucking brutalized in his last fight. That Ilia Topuria fight, I believe, was the most lopsided fight in UFC history. I mean, I don't have, it's right up there. I can't think of it. The Canadian guy. But anyways, it's 50-42 on the scorecards. So yeah, way back in the day.
Newton? Carlos Newton?
No, was it Carlos Newton?
I don't know. He's a Canadian guy.
Was it? No, I know. I think it was David Lauzot though. I think it was David Lauzot got 50-42'd against was it Rich Franklin? I think. He got 50-42'd. So
they didn't stop the fight.
Nope. So Josh Emmett and David Lauzot were on the wrong end of the worst beatings in UFC history. But nonetheless, though, in terms of the rest of the card, man, Irene Aldana, Carol Rosa should be fun. Casey O'Neill back against Ariane Lipsky. That's a very interesting fight. Casey O'Neill, we'll see if she can get back on the right track with that one. Early prelims, man. Anyone you want to point out? Any closing thoughts on this card as a whole?
Dustin Jacoby, Alonzo Menefield looks like it should be a banger. By the way, one that's like gone under the radar, Randy Brown, Muslim Salikov. Both kind of, is Randy Brown actually still ranked? I'm actually curious about that. He's not. So both of those guys trying to fight back to be in the rankings again there, because they were both kind of around there at one point. Or I think they both were ranked near the lower end at one point. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's like an exciting fight there for me. And there's certain fights that I wanted Muslim Salikov, or certain matches I wanted him to get. This one is not the one I wanted, but I'll enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fair enough, man. Yeah, I can't believe I skipped right over Alonzo Menefield, Dustin Jacoby. That's going to be a fucking banger. Alonzo Menefield, a guy I never saw coming too, by the way. I mean, I remember I thought he had some potential when he first came to the UFC, but his current 4-fight winning streak, dude, very, very impressive.
I mean, some of those losses in there are still kind of rough to look back at. Like
they really are. That's why I'm surprised.
Like Devin Clark, William Knight, who William Knight isn't even in the UFC anymore, I think.
No, he's not. Yeah.
Yeah, and he lost even outside of the UFC, like after getting cut. The OSP one, okay, well, OSP, has a lot of experience, been around the game for a while. But even then, it's still an old OSP he lost to,
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. William Knight's going through some shit, dude. I mean, so that, I'm gonna give him a break. He said that he had a bunch of family members die, before his last UFC fight, and then he did nothing in that one, and then he lost his next one. So I'll give him a pass. But yeah, I mean, there are a couple losses in there for Alonzo Menefield that are a bit rough. But, yeah, I mean, look, dude, this UFC 296 card is fucking excellent. I couldn't be more excited about it.
Oh my God, Josh.
Yeah.
Our boy William Knight now is offering one-on-one training. He charges $35 for 30 minutes, $45 for 1 hour.
On what? Like, where did you find this? Instagram?
Yes, it's on his Instagram.
Angel, that's it. Is it over Zoom or something?
It says local training 101, but honestly, he should go online. I'm sure he get plenty of people.
I'm sure he would.
Yeah, I mean, he's in great shape. I'm sure he could definitely get some people going.
100%. But anyways, man, yeah, UFC 296 is an absolute fucking banger. Couldn't be more excited about it. But Angel, we do have some more stuff to talk about here on the show, including, this is not, Angel, it's not the only fight going down this weekend, dude. Jake Paul will be making a return very low-key. I mean, he's outright said he has no interest in promoting this fight. So Jake Paul will be returning to the ring on December 15th, this coming Friday, against Andre August. Andre August record 10-1-1. Mostly fights a light heavyweight. Prior to his most recent win in August, which was by decision, he had been out for 4 years. It's easy to see why they picked this guy. However, we'll see what Jake Paul is really made of as he faces a guy that does have, he's an actual pro boxer. You can't really say that he's not, dude. You can't really say it's a Tommy Fury situation. This guy's an actual boxer. What do you think about this one, man? I think it's going to be an interesting night. Because we'll also talk about it in a minute, but there's more influencer shit going on as well.
I mean, we've kind of talked about it privately. We brought up the fact that not every fight, until we see he is kind of at whatever level we expect or wanted to be at, none of his fights are gimmies. So I'm not dead set that this Andre August fight's gonna be a walk. I mean, and you always bring the reason they picked him. I do understand that there's definitely a reason they picked him, but even then, you still can't pick Jake Paul without a doubt in every single one of his fights, because he didn't have an MMA career. He didn't come up and he didn't have a bunch of fights before he was 18 in Mexico. He had 17 years old when he turned pro and anything like that. He's fought, a lot of guys from, MMA, not really any boxers, or just people who, and even then the MMA guys weren't guys who main focus or original foundation was boxing or whatever. So I am curious to watch this Andre August bout and see if he's still growing, still evolving. If he doesn't walk through him, I'll actually be pretty impressed. I know a lot of people won't, because it would be who is Andre August? What relevance does he have? But the thing is, the same time, it's like, what kind of relevance does Jake have in the boxing world still? I mean, we bring this up every time, you know. We're always wondering, what is he going to improve on? What layer, you know, what is he adding on to, you know? So don't be surprised if, you know, we get a unexpected result.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, look, here's the way I feel about it. Andre Agassi could win this fight. He absolutely could. I mean, I've watched a lot of film, not a lot, but I've watched some film of him. He has a great left hook. He seems to be a clean puncher. It seems like he has a fair bit of power. Not a whole lot. I mean, he's not really knocking out a lot of these guys. I mean, there's a reason why they booked this fight. Jake Paul's team is very intelligent. They're not fucking stupid. I'm going to go ahead and take Jake Paul to win if we're making predictions. Could Andre Agassi pull off the upset? Yeah, probably. I mean, at Jake Paul's current skill level, I mean, he's going to get hit. He's not a world beater. He's going to deal with some challenges. This fight's all about gaining experience, and he says that he's a real boxer and yada, yada, yada. So it makes sense for him to take this fight. But regardless, dude, I do want to ask you, do you think this fight will get more viewers, or do you think it'll be KSI's sparring match with Speed?
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if KSI sparring match with Speed. Which, why are they sparring? It's so fucking random. I mean, it's fun. It's, you know, it's whatever. But I just thought it was random as fuck. Is that going down this weekend?
It's going down at the same exact time that Jake Paul will be fighting.
He did that on purpose. Then that's all mental warfare right there.
Yeah. Well, and that's it's going to be streamed on YouTube. There's no reason for them to fight other than KSI just wants to one up Jake Paul. Apparently, they put $100,000 on the line for the sparring match.
That's actually hilarious. Who called out who the?
I'm assuming it's Speed because but I don't know. I don't know why.
I guess it was mutual. Yeah.
Probably. I mean, if I had to assume. Dude,
that'd be funny if JJ's free sparring match with Speed got more views than Jake's fucking fight.
Exactly.
By the way, did you see JJ and Logan were at the fucking Chiefs game? I
did see that. Yeah, they were scouting out talent. Apparently, no wide receiver talent because that doesn't exist on the fucking team. But
could you imagine if Mahomes became a prime athlete?
That'd be pretty crazy, dude. That'd be pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean. They got a couple I didn't expect Bud to become a fucking prime athlete, but he is, so.
Dude, I knew Prime made it when I was in Quick Trip and I saw it there. In Quick Trip now. They have it at Quick Trip, by the way, now. Done deal. But, I was at Quick Trip and I saw an elderly man. I'm talking elderly, Josh, like walking with a cane type deal. And grabbed his bottle of Red Prime.
What a guy. What a fucking icon, dude.
I think he was a vet too, so shout out to him for his service.
Shout out that guy. Yeah, dude, Prime's killing it right now.
I think he grabbed two at that. I think he grabbed the ice pop one and the red one, dude. I still remember this very vividly.
Wow. Well, they're the man. I think they're the number 4 largest sports drink in the world.
Really?
Huh?
Really?
Yeah, they are behind Body Armor, Gatorade, and Powerade, and that's it.
Wow. I mean, look, that's impressive. You got to think about how long those other ones have been on the market and been killing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, probably the newest one out of those, I would assume, is Body Armor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, obviously not including Prime, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Fun fact of the day.
Fun fact of the day. Yeah, man. Yeah, I will. Regardless, I'm intrigued to see Jake Paul's return. Intrigued to see KSI's sparring match. If they have a lot of production value, I think it's cool that he's streaming it on YouTube. I also think it's just really, really funny, dude. I mean, they can't fight.
I'm guessing it'd be super trolly. I think it's gonna be super trolly more than anything.
That's what I expect. But yeah, that'll be fun. Speaking of just weird shit, did you see Conor McGregor face off with Petr Yan over the weekend in Dubai?
Dude, it's even weird. Islam was there too, randomly also there.
Yeah, Islam was also probably paid a lot of money to sit ringside across from Conor, by the way. So I wonder if they originally wanted to do an Islam face off with Conor and Islam didn't. I have no insider information. I just wonder, you know?
Well, yeah. I don't know. This is weird.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I gotta admit, I know a lot of people were clowning on Conor for it. I think it's kind of funny that Conor McGregor just randomly shows up at fight events around the globe and just faces off with random fucking people. I mean, he did it, you know, Chandler. He already did Chandler in the Ultimate Fighter cage. He faced off with Mike Perry. You know, he faced off now with Petr Yan. Who will be next? You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't have anything to add to this, outside of the fact that I guess the IBA president was there and said that these two are going to box next year.
Who's
yeah.
gonna box?
Piotr Jan and Connor.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, right. Like, that's gonna fucking happen. Yeah. Anyways, man, very, very funny. I think Connor just randomly showing up and facing off people is pretty funny. But regardless, speaking of lightweight, speaking of Islam Makhachev, we just talked about him. He recently did an interview. Islam doesn't give a lot of interviews, but he actually talked a fair bit. For one, he said that he has no interest in facing Charles Oliveira or Arman Sarukian next. He said he's done with rematches, actually. Part of the reason he wants to be done with rematches is because he's not really sure how much longer he's going to be doing this. He didn't see himself doing this till 40. In fact, he may only have a couple more years in him, and he wants fresh fights. With that in mind, he called out Justin Gaethje. So I will ask you, what do you think, man? You want to see Justin Gaethje versus Islam Makhachev next for the lightweight title?
I mean, not really, no. I was down for the I was down for the Charles fight, man. I want to see that rematch. I mean, Charles is still right there. You know what I mean? I know that fight went down already. He did lose, but I mean, shit, dude, he took down Beneil Dariush in pretty easy fashion. You know, I didn't know if fucking Arman was gonna be able to top it, but he did. But I don't know. I'm still interested in that fight, and there's no point of running back fucking Charles and Justin, really, unless you want to, like, title eliminator. But, you know, that fight really isn't that far removed. And Arman's right there in the wings whenever he's ready. I don't know. I mean, I just want to see him fight. You know what I mean? If they do go fresh face, sure, fuck it. Justin Gaethje Islam isn't, I don't know, it doesn't interest me as much as Charles Islam does for some reason, personally.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, there's a lot of fights that I would love to see Islam Makhachev in, and I got to be honest with you, a fight with Justin Gaethje is probably at the bottom of the list. Because I mean, let's be honest here, we've kind of already seen. Are we really going to pretend that we don't know what's going to happen here? Like,
I hate to be that guy, but at the same time, like, if we're kind of putting resume versus resume against Charles and Justin, like, at this point in time, Charles is better. I mean, Justin has failed twice at getting the title. He's lost to both the champ and the number one contender, because I think Charles still holds number one position in their UFC rankings. Like, yep. I don't know, man. Like, that doesn't get me going when I know Charles is available. You know what I mean?
Exactly, dude. Yeah, I'm like, look, Islam probably won't get what he wants. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. Like, he's a big cash cow for the UFC, but I don't want to say they don't care what he thinks, but I remember last year we had, like, a similar conversation, because he said he wanted to fight before Ramadan, and he wanted to fight this guy, and he was ready for fresh fights, and yada, yada, yada. And he might have even called out Gaethje at the time, too, as, like, a guy he wanted to face, and they just didn't schedule him. They saved him for Abu Dhabi, ended up facing, you know, Volkanovski in a rematch after being scheduled for a rematch with Charles. So they probably won't give a fuck what he thinks anyway, but yeah, it is interesting. It is interesting to me. Regardless, we do have a couple more pieces of news to go ahead and close out the day. Georges St-Pierre, some people were speculating that he will be involved in Dana White's super fight for 2024. Georges St-Pierre recently confirmed at the UFC Media Day that he may do a grappling match in the future. In fact, he probably will, but he is 100% done fighting. So we can go ahead and take GSP off the board, Angel. GSP will not be fighting again. So that's one fight down. We still aren't any closer to finding out, though, who it may be.
Because you already know who it is, Josh.
Who do you think it is?
Dude, you already know Pereira is bulking, dude. He's getting ready to go up to heavyweight and take on Tom Aspinall and capture his third title.
Jokes aside, I've seen some people suggest that. He'd fucking maul him, dude. Tom Aspinall would maul Pereira, dude. That's crazy. Yeah.
Well, I'd be interested. If they made it happen, I'd be down for it. I'd be really hyped for that.
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at it. I'd watch the fight. You know,
I'd watch the fuck out of that, dude.
I would too. I would. I don't think that fight would be close for a fraction of a second, though. But that's just my thoughts, man. There's only so much you can push weight, you know. And I understand he's a big guy, but it's a lot difference between grappling a 85-pound fucking, you know, I can't even think of the guy that he first faced when he came to the UFC, the guy that took his back. Greek guy who we've talked about on the show since. Big difference between that though and grappling Tom.
Oh, Andre Michaelitis?
Yes, there's a big difference between.
Hey, Andre Michaelitis is about to win potentially the Octagon fucking 100 million or 1 million euro tournament, bro. So.
Well, he nearly won that fight. I mean, I always bring that up. I mean, we're really not far away from a reality where Peña gets submitted in the first round and none of that shit happens. You know. Regardless, though, dude. Yeah. I don't know who's going to be involved in the Dana White Super Fight for 2024, excuse me.
He's already shut down so much shit. Like, who could it be? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because I don't think John and Stipe will be available at the time. You already said it's not Connor. Like,
he said Aspinall's on ice. He said he's not going to tell Aspinall fight anybody else.
I'm still thinking probably the most realistic option is probably be Izzy Peña at light heavyweight. But outside of that, dude, like, there's nothing I could because you already. I think he also said. I think it was your article, Josh. He also shut down Ronda and Brock already too, right?
Correct. He shut down Ronda and Brock. Although, like, let's be honest here, we shouldn't really believe anything Dana says. But yeah, he did shut down those two. Yeah, he shut down a lot of things to the point where it's like,
maybe it's not a super fight, Dana.
Yeah, maybe it's not a super fight. Maybe don't you fucking tell me that fucking. Juliana Peña versus fucking I don't even know.
And look, they did say Max Holloway's getting ready, but I'm like, at that point, the only thing I can think of, like, Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier, 155. You know what I mean?
Or Gaethje, because he called out Gaethje, but Gaethje said no.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I don't know, Dana. I don't fucking know.
Dana, drop us some hints. You know.
The thing is, UFC 300 is really not that far away. Like we'll be in January soon, and we're gonna get 2 pay-per-views pretty quick following. We'll be in January, and I'm pretty sure the following one will be like 2 weeks after that, or something like that. It's pretty quick. Like, here, let me pull it up real quick. I'm actually mad curious. So, going into next year, the first pay-per-view of 2024. It's so weird to say. Will be January 20th. The following one will be February 17th, Josh, which will be 3 weeks later. That'll be UFC 298. At which point we'll only be 2 cards away. And I mean, that really isn't, like, we're not far, man. And we know O'Malley Vera is going down March 9th. Where the fuck is UFC 300 happening? And who's the main event? I need to know.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. We have no idea. No idea. We're not anywhere closer either, you know?
That's what I'm telling you. It has to be Izzy Peña. It has to be.
Yeah. It's the only thing that we can think of. But
dude, the betting odds to try to figure out that shit must be incredibly good payout.
It's going to be crazy, dude. Going to be crazy. Regardless, we got another fight announcement. Another fight related announcement though. The Ultimate Fighter season 32. We are like the only people on Earth.
Wait, what? We're getting another season?
You didn't hear about this?
No.
Oh, there we fucking go, dude.
You know me. I watched every season since they brought it back, so that's how you know it's bad.
I know, dude. You and I are like the only people that were doing weekly recaps of the show. And they announced very low key that the Ultimate Fighter season 32 will be going down next year. Middleweights and featherweights will be the fighters. The coaches have yet to be announced. I guess, Angel, who do you want to see, I guess, as the coach? I mean, any ideas who could potentially be?
Dude, I don't know why, but I got a weird feeling Grasso Shevchenko could be the coaches.
Ooh, that makes a lot of sense.
I don't think they would do Wei Lee and someone else, right? Or Tatiana, you know, or Amanda Lemos or whoever they could possibly think of. But I'm thinking, because middleweight, no. Welterweight, no. Lightweight, no. 205 and heavyweight, I doubt it'd be Aspinall and someone else. Bantamweight, no. I mean, when you start breaking it down, I think that makes the most sense, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
So another lady-led season, which I think is cool.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, the reality is there aren't too many people available, but also that one makes a lot of sense because Grasso is still healing right now, I believe.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I think a flyweight season would be cool with whoever the winner, because I think the personalities down there at flyweight could be pretty cool. But I'm assuming I would think the most realistic option, in my opinion, would probably be that, because I doubt they would do another season with Juliana or Raquel Pennington and who else is Myra Winnesova or Holly? You know, I don't know. on it. So I think that's the most realistic option at this time, but that could be subject to change. But middleweights and featherweights usually, but I mean, I guess in the past they haven't had fighters from the same weight classes, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't think Volk would, or Ilya would do one of those seasons at this time. I just don't see it happening. So yeah, I like that. That was some pretty good deduction right there. Some good deduction right there.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I really think it might wind up being Grasso Shevchenko, just by virtue of the fact that she's still hurt, so might as well put him on that show, dude. I mean, but we'll see. We still got a ways to go, you know? Because this was just announced either yesterday or the day before, I believe, so still don't have really any details.
Do we have any rumors of the fighters that potentially could be on it? I'm sure they'll get leaks.
No, but they are officially casting now. They just put out. That's the whole reason we found out, since they put out the casting call.
Oh, someone leaked some shit.
Yeah. But anyways, man. Last bit of news. Claressa Shields, dude. Claressa Shields, some footage got leaked of her being dropped in sparring. The clip was apparently from 4 years ago, by a 6-1 male pro boxer. This video is making the rounds, considering Claressa Shields, probably, a bit of a karma thing, because she said that she could beat up any male boxer, including, who did she call out? Was it Keith Thurman? Yeah, this video got leaked. So a lot of people are taking their turns, kind of kicking her while she's down. What did you think about it, man? Have you seen the video? What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, some people were saying this is why women shouldn't spar with men in when they're at their gyms, but I'm like, the thing is, they really don't have a choice though. There's probably not enough women in the gym for her to practice with anyways, any gym. So it's not even like she really has that option for one to educate people on that. Cause I saw that kind of being a reoccurring thing. On top of that, it's just one of those things that could have happened. And generally, for the most part, guys try to pull back a little bit and not allow those things to happen. But at the end of the day, it is sparring and those things could happen. But this guy really was an asshole though and did take out the padding out of his gloves. I mean, that's just a dick thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a huge Claressa Shields fan. I think she's, I guess I don't have any beef with her. I don't feel one way or the other is my point, right? But yeah, I saw some people taking their turns oh, dude, you drop that bitch. If he really took the padding out, first of all, posting the clip is fucking, and he posted the clip himself. This was not leaked.
And he was taking, he was like, yeah, I did that. He was kind of rocking with it.
Yeah, look, I gotta say this, dude. If you're really bragging about dropping a woman 5 years later, and after sparring, dude, wow, what a bitch, dude.
I know you beat me up, but still.
Huh?
What does that say about him, right?
Yeah, look, it's one thing if this got leaked or something, but the guy himself going out there and.
Did you see how she followed it up though? She posted footage of quote unquote the guys she rocked or hurt in sparring.
Yeah. I don't like a lot of the videos that she posted from sparring either. But at the same time, it's dude, come on, dude. You really didn't have to do that, Just kind of looks sad, I guess. But yeah, dude. I don't have any deep thoughts about this for Claressa. We're still waiting to see when she's gonna return to either the ring or the cage. But yeah, man. That's about all we got. Any closing thoughts on this or anything else you want to talk about?
No, nothing specifically, man. I'm just excited to come back next week, recap the lax pay-per-view of the year. 'Cause fuck, dude, all these results, I'm so excited to find out how the rankings are going to shift everything, and kind of the last look. And on top of that, Josh, by the way, next week I have this saved on my phone. We will be taking a look back at the pound per pound rankings at the end of 2023 and comparing them to the pound for pound rankings in 2024 or in 2022. And I say the 2022 ones, and we will be comparing them to this year's 2023 power rankings.
Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun going down next week. And also, this is, if the guys don't know, it's going to be a big weekend. I'm only one fight ahead of Angel. One fight ahead of Angel. So, we'll see.
Did we split on any picks? I don't think there's even, I don't even think.
I guess that's your fault, dude. You got to pick an upset, bro.
I might have to. I don't know. I mean, I think everybody that I picked is who I'd still go for. You know, I don't think.
Fair enough.
You didn't wait. Did you pick Luca or Gary? You picked Gary, right?
I picked Gary.
Dude, we picked the exact same one. So yeah, I mean, I guess I boned. But even then, I might have not boned myself. You know what I mean? Because I could technically pick all 5 fights right or 4 fights right or whatever they are.
Yeah. But I don't really disagree on any of those. Well, I mean, you can also change your pick by the time that the show goes up, and we'll put something, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I will. I guess I'll just rock with it, and that's it. I mean, I guess I'm gonna lose this year, guaranteed. My one pick, though, I think that's not bad.
Yeah, no, that's not bad. But regardless, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Last UFC card of the year. I'm at Josh Evanoff on Twitter. He's at Angel Ortega _01 at Courtside Sound for all things relating to the show. We'll be back. We're going to have video podcasts going for the rest of the year. Obviously, next week we have Wilder and Joshua in the boxing. We also have the Soundoff Awards. We have coverage, so don't you worry, guys. No MMA, but we'll find some fun stuff to talk about. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace and bug grease. Mouse click.
So, do you want to save the Soundoff Awards for the week after?